Hi, and my name is Scott, and we're just going to go through foundation of what is sales. Now, this is very important because a lot of people, when they view sales, they consider it to be a very dirty and manipulative kind of job role, and that's just really the wrong mentality. And it's not a healthy mentality if this is the way you view sales. And so, in this quick training, we're going to talk about, what sales isn't and what sales is. Everyone's going to have their own definitions, but, you know, for me, if I feel like I'm cheating or manipulating someone, I'm not going to feel good in the morning. But if I feel that I'm helping someone, showing people a better solution, you know, I feel good about myself. I feel that I'm actually helping someone. So this is what this foundation course is going to be about. Now, the importance of getting the right mentality is just to make sure that people, you know, that you can wake up and you have the right mentality to be selling. And that'll bring you the confidence to sell, it'll give you the ambition, and hopefully it'll give you a good mindset when you're doing your research, when you're preparing, when you're talking to someone. So, with that in mind, let's get started. So, what sales is not? So, first of all, this is quite a misconception is that sales is manipulation of a person to get a sale. Now, that's not nothing to do with sales. We're not trying to do some black magic. We're not trying to cheat someone. You know, we're not trying to do that. The next one is confuse or mislead. So a lot of people feel that sales is about just chucking them so many messages and falsely representing information. Now, of course, sales can be done that way, but this is not what we do here. So this is definitely a no. This is not what sales is about. Pressure and emotional stress. Now, yes, of course, we're going to use some pressure techniques. Of course, we're going to use some emotional techniques, but the intention is not to stress the person out. It's not to freak them out. It's not to push them to the point for a decision. It's just a nudge in the right direction. So, we're definitely not here to try to create immense pressure on someone, to create that emotional confusion or create stress. So someone's just going to buy because of stress related. That's not going to be good for us. It's not going to be good for future sales. It's not going to be good for the customer. So all those things combined, that's what sales is not. We're not trying to cheat, manipulate, mislead, misguide, confuse, any of those kind of things. This is a very negative connotation that a lot of people see sales as. And there are bad salespeople that do deploy those kind of techniques. They're borderline scam artists, and that's not what we're here for. You know, this is what we're here for. So the next slide, we're talking about what sales is. Now, for me, the fundamentals of sales is it's a solution to a problem. Someone has something, someone wants something, someone needs something. Now they have a problem that they need solving. And in my mentality, and hopefully in your mentality, we are problem solvers. We are the fixers. We done our research, we understand our customers, we understand what we're selling, and we're selling a solution to a problem. We're not even selling a product, we're not even selling a service. We are selling a solution to a problem. And we'll keep going on about what is that problem, what is that solution, and it's really finding the right mix. A customer has a problem, you have a solution. And for me, that's the very fundamentals of sales. And getting your mentality to think like that is going to give you a lot of confidence when you sell. You're going to have a good feeling when you sell. You can really actually help someone. You can really add value to someone's life or to their business or something like that. So keep thinking about it this way. This is the good way of thinking about sales, and this is kind of the mentality that we want. We definitely want this kind of mentality. If you had that mentality saying, hey, I'm here to help, then that's going to be much better mentality than, oh, how do I force this down someone's throat? Um, so yes, what is sales? A solution to a problem, something which will assist, enrich, or add value to a person. So, you know, everyone has needs. If I'm running a company or if I'm a customer in some kind of way, there's always ways that I'm going to want to improve my business, and there's always ways I want to enrich my life. So, if I'm buying from you, and this is a solution that's really going to help me, and it's also going to add value. It's going to enrich my job because it's going to make my job easier. It's going to make sure that I present better to my bosses. It's going to make me look good. It's going to add personal value as well. That's really what sales is. And the last point here, the answer, the answer someone is looking for, even if they don't know it. Now, this goes back to a solution to a problem, because not everyone even knows that they have a problem. For example, I might have a job or an accounting job or something else, and I'm working away at this job. Let's say accounting, I'm doing pen and paper, or I'm doing spreadsheets and I'm manually calculating, and it's taking me hours and hours and hours. Now, I might think that that's the only way to do it. I never really felt that that was wrong. Now, so when I say it's the answer someone's looking for, even if they don't know it, now you're selling a product, and you have a product which will save them 50%, 80% of their time, whatever it's going to be. But maybe they don't even know they have that problem yet until they've been educated. So sometimes it involves education as well. Education, to allow people to discover the problems that they have. And if they exist and if they're real problems, then you have a solution for them. So that is what sales is about. It's a good foundation of mentality. You could almost consider it, you're a consultant, you're the helper, you're the guidance, to add value, to improve, to solve a problem for your customers. Now, what is a salesman? So, once again, we've seen in many places, people describe salesmen as this black, dark art, and that's not the way I view it. And I have to say, when I started my career, my biggest issue in selling was because I felt dirty about it. I didn't feel good about it. But after reading a lot of books and psychology and taking and changing my approach to sales rather than just forcing something down someone's throat, I changed my mentality. I changed, what it is to be a salesperson for myself. So what is a salesman? So first of all, a problem solver, listener, and a solutions man. Now, I can't emphasize more than this point about you are a solver, you're a listener. Like, you just don't go in and you start shoving things down someone's throat. No. You're selling a solution to a problem. So first, listen. First, do they have that problem? What is their problem? Is what you're selling going to meet that? Is it going to solve what they want? Is it the right solution for them? And when you're selling it, listening means you understand what they really want, not just what you think they want, but what words come out of their mouth, what is important to them, what's going to make that happen. So, considering yourself, you're a solutions person, you're a problem solver, you're a listener, these are good traits of a salesperson. They're gonna get that extra value out of your customers rather than just saying, "Hey, you gotta have this." No, 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 no. Tell me about your company. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what are the biggest problems. What are your challenges, and really try to understand and really get them involved. It's a two-way process. Next point here is proactive and a go-getter. Now, a salesperson, everyone thinks, try once, failed, give up. That's not the mentality of a salesperson. We have to be proactive. And and that means we need to identify customers' problems. We need to do the research, and we need to be a bit persistent as well. So, we need to find the right customers, the right people, understand their market, their industry, and we need to be proactive about it. So we have to understand the trends and everything else. We can't just sit back and hope the magic bullet of sales is going to happen. We have to be prepared, and when we start talking to people, we need to be proactive. So we listen, and if we don't know something, we got to be proactive. If the customer doesn't call us back, then we need to be proactive with them, and we need to be scheduled and systematic about that, which comes to my next point: systematic and process orientated. Because as I said, just selling one time is not good enough. You contact the customer and then that's it. Well, it's a waste of effort. People are busy. People forget things. People get confused. So when I say systematic and process orientated, I meaning you need to manage your own time. You need to be able to work with the customer. You need to keep following up. You need to understand your research. You need to understand what you've done and you believe, and keeping your notes and delivering on that. So being, what is a salesman? And when I say systematic and process orientated, I really mean you got to be organized, you got to follow your process, and you got to be systematic. Make sure you do your follow-ups, make sure you do your communications. It's going to minimize your effort in the long term, and it's going to reward you with better results over time. And the last one, a man with a few tricks up his sleeve. Now, this is really about having those tools with you. So, as I said before, we're not trying to do any dark magic or, fool the customer. But what we do want to do is make sure that we have a few tricks on our sleeves. We want to sell, and the customer sometimes is busy or undecisive. So we need to have those tricks just to nudge the customer in the right way, or to open those doors to start that communication. So we need a whole group of tricks up our sleeves to be able to get that flow happening. And simple things about how to do cold calling, how to make that cold calling more interactive, how to make sure that they're not just going to hang up on you, make sure that we understand their problem, the communication. Then you might have other scenarios where you're finding it difficult to close or the customer is indecisive. Now, having those tricks just to put the right push in the right way is key as a salesperson. Everyone is busy and you're busy as well. You have to take care of your time and you have to take care of the customer. So have those tricks up your sleeve and learn how to use them in the right way. So that's going to help you get to the customer, get to the solution, and make things happen. Sales is a team player. Now, this is especially important here. The system we put in place is about having mentors, having a community. And we really believe that there's always more to learn. There's always more little tricks to learn. There's more about understanding the customers to learn. There's always more ways to lead generation. There's so much out there. And getting that solution end to end and getting a formula that works for you is very important. But if you come along, you're not going to be alone. Salesman, you're not alone. So you're going to be a team player. And even though you're working with your customers, yourself, there's no reason you can't ask people that you can get the support you need. And being a team player also encourages you to get a good mentality. So if you feel uncomfortable, scared, fearful, we want this feeling of being a team player. So to make sure that those negative thoughts or attitudes are destroyed, that you feel good about yourself, you feel good about the sales process, and you feel confident to take that sales process to the next level. And we really push this, that you are not alone. We are here as a team. Learning from others, listening and asking questions. So this is very key as well. Um, it doesn't matter what my experience is because the person next to me is going to have a different experience, and then the person next to him is going to have a different experience. So we really believe in learning from others, and that's really about thinking about your customers, listening to other people's experience, what issues they've had, how they got around it, how they solved it, and also yourself. What issues have you had, or what issues other people are having that you can help with. So we really encourage a strong team support here, and really trying to learn and get all those little extra values from it, and bringing insight to the table. So if you've learned something and you want to share it, or you understand someone's problem because you've experienced yourself, or you have an insight, that's going to add value, we encourage this. It's really about give and take here. We put a lot of effort to get the right resources in place, the right information, the right community, so everyone can share their knowledge, and you're not competing against anyone directly. You're just coming in as a team and trying to grow your insights and grow your skill sets together. And getting a sales mentality. So this is something we've already talked about, but it's very important. Number one, selling a solution. We are a helper. Listener, the thinker. So we're listening. We're always thinking about the person, about the customer, what problems they have, and what they're doing. Selling to the right person and the rapport. This is very important because if someone has the right problem, then you have the right solution, perfect. But if they have a problem that's not fit with your solution, then it's not going to happen. Or if it's going to be happen, people are going to be very unhappy with the solution you're selling. So talking to the right person that has the right problem, understanding their problem, and understanding means more than just listening and talking. It's really about creating that rapport, that energy with the customer. So listening and understanding, creating that empathy, the rapport, there is going to be very important. This is as I said, you're the helper. You're engaging them, and hopefully, you're building the confidence because with your customer, because you're confident in what you're selling, and you're confident that you're selling the right solution. Control the flow. I mean, getting the right mentality. You are in charge of the conversation. You are in charge of the flow of the interactions. You are in charge of all these aspects. So if the conversation is not right, the conversation is going off task, if meetings are not happening, you need to take control. You need to be in charge of this relationship, of your customer relationship. So having a good mentality and knowing what you want to achieve and how you're going to achieve it is going to be very important. Selling smart. What I mean selling smart is, as a salesperson here, you want to sell by using your brain. So later on, you'll go through a series of steps of how to define your sales process and your research and what's involved. But this is always based off assumption, and assumptions are fine, but you need to take it to the next level. You need to create experiments. You need to say, this was an assumption. Is my assumption right? What can I learn from my customers? So this selling is about trying one way of selling, or trying one way of getting leads, and then testing it to see how well it was, and then evaluating to get the right numbers back. So an example might be, oh, you're trying this channel for leads, channel A and channel B. For example, let's say Facebook and Twitter. And you want to try, you're going to spend 2 hours on Facebook, you're going to spend 2 hours on Twitter, and you're going to target the same markets, and you're going to test to see what's happening, what results are we getting. And if one is being a lot more efficient than the other, then that's, that's selling smart. We're seeing that this one is working and the other one is not. And that goes for talking to your customers, understanding the problems, understanding your market. Um, it's better to get something wrong and learn from it and improve at the next stage than just do the same thing wrong over and over again. So getting the right mentality here is always being smart about what you're selling and thinking about the processes and all the stages and evaluating and reflecting what could have been done better, how could have we done it, and what other assumptions are there. And then over time you can tweak it, tweak your strategy, your sales plan, and you'll see better results improving, month in, month out, just depending on how often you're evaluating and how often you're refining your process. And that should be really, really a key part. It's going to create your efficiency in time and really improve your conversion rates over a period of time. Achieving the mentality. Now we've got all those steps and they're what we want and how to get there. Understanding the problem and solution you're selling and the customer. Super important. Understanding. Don't just start selling something you don't understand. If you don't understand the problem, if you don't understand the solution, then you're not going to understand the customer and you're not really going to understand how to sell it. Sure, you could sell it, but you're going to look like the fool when they ask questions or you don't know how to answer them or you're not prepared for the meeting. Having a good understanding means you'll be very dynamic when you're talking to people. You'll be able to understand the problem. You'll be able to answer in such a way that's going to meet their needs, that's going to meet their problems that they're having, not just the ones that come up in your mind. So achieving that mentality first comes down to that research, understanding. And next, planning how and who you will be selling to. So, everything before selling, for me, for many people, it's about doing that planning. Planning. And this is generally a big once-off activity. After that, it becomes your functions, your notes, your key plan on how to achieve. So if you know the market, if you know why that problem exists, if you understand who is leading that market or who the competitors are, all these elements will come together and it gives you a lot more power in terms of knowledge and execution about how to get to the customers, how to sell to the customers, how to close the customers. So knowing this detail and knowing who you're actually selling to is going to save you a lot of time and it's going to help your targeting and it's going to help you close in all aspects of the process. And getting that knowledge behind you is going to give you the confidence and a good mentality before you even start. Be happy with customers. We'll get true value out of the purchase. So if I'm selling something, I need to know that I'm selling something good. And I need to know the problem and how the solution works. And that if they have my solution, it's going to improve their productivity. It's going to add value. It's going to solve that problem. And in some way, that's going to be measurable. And that's going to be a good mentality. So as soon as I start talking to that customer, as soon as I start talking to the right person, I have confidence because I know that that customer is going to get good value from what I'm selling. I know they're going to be happy at the end of the process. I know I've got the right solution. So having that, understanding that background, that preparation is going to make you a good salesperson because you believe in what you're selling. You believe you have a good product. You believe that you're going to help someone. And all that mentality is going to come out in all aspects. It's going to give you confidence. It's going to make you talk with confidence. It's going to make the customer trust you. It's going to make the customer trust the product. It's going to make a confident rapport with your customer because everything is positive. You're not just sitting there saying, oh, buy my product, it has this feature, this feature, this feature. No, no, no. It's going to be much, much more. It's going to be like, right, I understand your problem. I understand the complexities in your problem. I understand the industry as a whole. So I understand and I know that I have a solution that's really going to help you. And that is going to give you a great mentality. And that's going to make you a much, much better salesperson. It's going to give you that edge. And when you make your sale, you can feel good about yourself because not only do you get your commission, but you've actually helped someone in the same process. And that's it for that foundations. And I just want to summarize again. This one is really about mentality, about what is a salesperson. So many people, as I said, have come as a salesperson really with a negative attitude. Really, that sales is about manipulating, cheating, confusing, and a lot of complexity. And that's not what we want. Here, we want to focus on a strong mentality, a confidence, and knowing that you're adding value to a customer and knowing that you're solving a problem to the customer. And if you need to, uh, think of yourself as a helper, as a consultant, as a advisor. All these things are true. So a salesperson is more than just a salesperson. The salesperson is really all those other roles I mentioned. And it's really helping someone get to the root and solving issues. And I think if you have that mentality, well, I know if you have that mentality, you're going to end up being a great salesperson. So if you have that negative mentality already, just put it aside. Think about really this mental attitude towards sales and get that stuck in your head. Change your thoughts, change your ideas, and then you won't have that fear, you won't have that nervousness. You'll be a confident, positive, prepared salesperson from end to end. So thank you for your time, and we'll see you in the next tutorial.